Peace, peace. Welcome back. Masterminds with Brother Shem L. I'm your host, Brother Shem L. We're doing another impromptu live stream. And I'm actually going to just go ahead and, just talk with the people. We're going to be kind of interacting, try to do something different. If you have not checked out my website, you can check out my website, www.shem, that's SHEM-EL.com. Check out what we got stored there. Appreciate everybody who is joining on now. We're going to have a little, just a brief discussion, and I probably will play something at the end as a treat for everybody who stay on to the end. Going to talk about something that happened last week. Matter of fact, I'm actually just going to get right to it, and I'm going to try something different. People out here, I'm going to try to have this joint kind of low in the background, kind of set the mood, the lo-fi. So last week, last week was my wife's birthday. And decided to celebrate the birthday by taking her out to Charlotte. And what was happening out in Charlotte? Brother Panic was doing a lecture out there in Charlotte. And so basically, wanted to go out there, celebrate, have a good time, enjoy the city, spend the weekend out there. And so I'm gonna tell you a little story about it, about what happened. Matter of fact, I may end up cutting this completely off. But for those who didn't have a chance to check it out, shout out to everybody who was there. Shout out to Brother Panic. Shout out to his other half, Khadija. Shout out to everybody who was assisting with the event. I know his son was there. I got a chance to see his son. I'll tell you the story in general, how that plays in. But let me just show y'all real quick the flyer. Share this flyer with y'all. Share this real quick. Okay. So check here. If y'all can see that, that's the actual flyer that he posted. If you have checked out his YouTube, if you subscribe to his YouTube, you'll see up there Hyatt House, Charlotte, Center City, 435 East Trade Street, Charlotte. That was on the 27th, right? 2023. Last year. So you see the hours, right? 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. We were there the whole time. That's 8 hours. His brother was going in for a very, very long time. I'll get into that in a moment. You see it? Brother Panic, Khadija, Samedi, right? Adopting the spiritual mentality. Went up in there. So that was really cool. So basically, try to give y'all the story. So last Saturday, we went out there. Now we drove from Durham. It's a 2.5 hour ride. And what ended up happening was my wife was like, before we left out, she said, yo, I want to stop at a spot to eat. before we get up there. So we leave around what, 10ish, between 10 and 11, and it's raining last week. And my apologies if you hear me sounding a little rough, and if I may cough because I'm still a little under the weather. But we get out there, I drive out there, and we drive to this place called Midnight Diner. Now, anybody who's from Charlotte out there listening, hold on. Dr. Swindle Hoodwink. Asir the Duke of Tears, a master of more science. I don't know where that question come from because I'm not even talking about Asir the Duke of Tears. Not quite sure where that came from. But anyway, proceeding on. So we went to Charlotte, and there's this diner. I'm not realizing at the time that this diner is right across the street from where Brother Panic Lecture is about to start. So we go out there, it's Midnight Diner. This is a 24/7 spot. We go up there, and it's packed. This is around 1ish, right? So we want to be in there in good time to eat and bounce. Now, I myself, I wasn't really going to eat. I was just going to drink all day because usually if I'm traveling or whatever and there's big events and I'm going to stay out and about all day, I won't eat that much. So, but my wife wanted to eat. So it was packed. People were outside. Mind you, it was raining. People are outside the entire particular the entire spot with umbrellas on. So I go up in there, and basically I walk up there to check to see how long it's going to take for us to get there, to eat and everything, so we can get to the lecture. And what I'm going to do real quick, hold on, because this may actually be a little distracting. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause that. All right, so my apologies. If y'all hear me, hope y'all can hear me clearer. So apologies if that music was a little distraction. I was trying to set a mood, but it's irritating me. But anyway, so basically, they telling me, I talked to one brother, he's like 40 minutes to get your food. I go in the building, in the area where they waiting around at this diner, and they're all standing up. I asked the sister, and she says 30 minutes. I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to wait 30 minutes to get seated to order food. Then they had the food prepared, bring it to us, we eat, you know what I'm saying, to get to the spot in time. Like, I didn't want to be too late. And when I mean late, I'm thinking like 30 minutes to an hour late. I didn't think the event was going to start at exactly at 2. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to be too late. So what we end up doing is I decide we're going to go someplace else. But as I walk out the door, and I see 2 people walking behind me. And so I open the door to let them through. It was a sister and a brother. The sister goes through first, and then I hear a voice saying, "What's up, Shem?" Mind you, I'm in Charlotte. Now I have a brother who lives in Charlotte, and I know what my brother looked like, but this definitely ain't my brother. So I take a second look, and ironically, it's the individual who actually is the individual who actually introduced me to Brother Panic, right? And real quick, before I get into the specific continue with the story, Dr. Swindle Hoodwink, I looked at your videos. You have a number of videos with him in it. Okay. Just to address that real quick. I have a lot of different people that I interviewed. All of them don't particularly teach more science. I can name the names. Neb Tahaka, Ma'at, and Sister Ma'at, Amin Makiru, who else? My brother Khalif Abiri. There's a number of people who I've had on my particular platform who don't claim to teach more science. So that should be clear in the explaining that I don't just profess, and I never profess to just have people who teach more science on my show. So I want to be clear on that, just to be clear. I'm not one of these. I'm not one of the particular platforms that says this is more such and such, and I only teach, or we only promote, or only have mores on our platform. I'm not one of those. However, me being a part of the Moorish movement, I actually do have many Moors on my platform. So I hope that answers the question. But just going into, so I saw the brother, you know what I'm saying? I hadn't seen him in years. This particular brother actually introduced me to listening to Brother Panic back in the days. Brother Panic, for those who don't know, he used to be on Blog Talk Radio a long time ago. I was listening to him back in 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And the brother, he told me like, yo, he's mad funny, yo, check him out. And sure enough, Panic will tell stories. He reminds you of that dude in the hood to just be telling funny stories, but he'll lace it with information, real heavy information. So that said, we came through, moved on, found another spot to eat, came through, and we went back. And then I realized that spot was actually across the street from the from the diner. You know what I'm saying? The spot where he was actually going to actually do the lecture. So what ends up happening is this. I go ahead and we go there, and there's some time my wife wants to go ahead and use the restroom before we go to the spot. Soon as we come in, the lady up front could tell we're not there. We're not the regular patrons. You know what I'm saying? She says, "Oh, you're here for the lecture?" So I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Go up to room 7. Oh, floor 7. I'm sorry. Go around the corner, go to the elevator, and go up to floor 7. So went up there, and I'm gonna make this real quick. Long story short, we about to go into the elevator, and we meet the brother Panic. Meet the brother Panic on the way to the elevator. Now it's 2:15 when we get there. After we get there, and we go up, he actually reaches his hand out to shake my hand. We shake each other's hand. We go up in the elevator, and it was an awesome lecture that he gave. Fire. You know what I'm saying? Talked about a lot of things. talked about the ISIS theses, talked about he talked about things such as arrested development, dealing with the subconscious, phage, lambda light, astral dynamics, a whole bunch of other different things. But what I want to do for y'all is go ahead and share this. And like I said, I ain't going to be too long-winded. I already spoke long enough. So I want to share this with y'all. And if anybody wants to just check it, build, then we can build afterwards. But let me go ahead and share this for y'all real quick. I'm going to share this. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to share this with y'all real quick. So this is on his, looking at this, Brother Pennett's IG page. So if y'all want to go on his IG page, y'all can follow him on IG. And this is just like the last portion of the lecture. So y'all can check this out. And y'all tell me what y'all think.
Just switch it to the crowd, get some of the people's faces.
Shit is real out in the streets. Y'all show up in North Carolina. The next place I go is probably Nashville. I'm thinking they're gonna try to outdo y'all. Like what? All right. So they're building this for you. Not necessarily to unleash it on you now, because they got your ass under control now. All they have to start doing is just take Kool-Aid out the ghetto and y'all niggas just start eating each other in the week. All this love, y'all start seeing who got the best meat. Well, that nigga's vegan. We cook him, we know that's the meat's gonna be lean meat. All right, so, because they got you under control now. What they're preparing for is what you may become. Which they don't know what it is because we don't really even know. What I do know now is after the phage lambda or that Betelgeuse supernova, the death phase isn't the only way out. Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna, two noted whatever they call them, swamis from India, old school, they're gone, but his teacher told his student, Vivekananda, when he was going to die at the exact time, and explained the concept of avatar to him. There's another name they also called it, but they are conscious, and most of us are doing this. We didn't fall here. Our souls are not here. We already are those ascended masters. Even though most of these niggas are descended humans. We are the ascended masters that came down to teach and influence and to learn more. So our souls, most of us, are not in our body. We're projecting ourselves as avatars. You get what I'm saying? The whole thing ultimately is a computer operation because everything is a computer operation. That's how we work. Computers are mimicked off of us in the universe. Not a coincidence. The first thing I learned in computer school, I went all the way. The first thing you learn at basic building hardware and software of a standalone computer is that it's mimicked after the human body. Everything. 0 is a vagina and a 1 is a penis. You've seen that before. You've actually. You ever make that sound like when you having sex? The old modem. Oh shit! You got that. She's so embarrassed, guys. She's so embarrassed. She's smiling it out. See her posture? See how it's closed? Yeah. I ain't getting none if I like just trying going for it. I would say, see how your legs are up?
I ain't giving you shit.
I'm going to get shit. But you're a good candidate. You're a good candidate. Other things that tell me, personal they have some, but it's not necessarily sexual things when you see them. You're just open to the information. But that's what I'm here to do. I don't present myself as someone we're not in a possible situation. So I'm not looking for that here. If we were at the club, then maybe. Like I can't, like she's gonna get in trouble. Choke the shit out of her. I am absolutely scared of Khadijah. Let me take this next. I love Khadijah. She saved my life from you. Oh! Your family. So she'll let me talk just a little bit of stuff. She said, once you start inviting motherfuckers, then you get cut, nigga. Khadijah is the be all to end all that ends all in bees all. And if y'all haven't taken a class and stuff like that, look into it and talk to people who have. Very shockingly advanced, even, and it's not repeating my shit. She knows her own shit. I've been trying to choke her ass to get on YouTube for the longest. As a standalone, you will be extremely shocked at how unpanicked she really is. And she's her own entity. I would promote that even if she wasn't my mom. Cesar, tell him real quick, Cesar.
Fire is called every single one of y'all, every single one of y'all. That's called every single one of y'all.
Yeah, I'm sure it's maybe some sporadic people, not a joke, but for the emotional system. The consultations, I think Khadijah's making a list. If they're interested, her and I are gonna do together tomorrow. I think she's gonna lead, and there may be some with just me. So if that's something you're interested in, we'll see if the list is comprehensive. If there's not enough people, fuck you, we'll catch on. But if there's a group, we stayed an extra day for it, because we did it in Nashville and a couple other places. So Khadijah will have a list if that's what you want. We're gonna get deep. We'll do an hour session if that's what you want. That's tomorrow, and we have a location. So we'll give you a number to call, and you'll be able to communicate, and we'll schedule a time. All right, if that's what you're gonna do, but we gotta have enough people. And of course, her and I do consultations that are very, very in-depth. We're gonna talk about your mama. All right, so AI is actually the potential answer for your spiritual awakening that they've been waiting for just as much as you. They move with a spiritual understanding, even if you don't. Always hearing Jews didn't come in on 9/11. Why did they know? Because they study Kabbalah, and they front like it's Judaism. But they study Kabbalah and they understand numbers, and Kabbalah is a path-opening system. It's why they use it so much in their spirituality, because you can decode this matrix logically. You don't have to have it in your heart, which is what we have. They can logically say, hey, today's a good day for this, today's a bad day for that. Kabbalah is the map of this matrix. The Kalipov, the other side, is what pushes it forward, and they tell you that's the shells, that's the runoff. But it doesn't make no sense. If it's the dark side, I thought the first line in the goddamn Bible was out of darkness comes light. The Kalipov is the real world. the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. You can eat that shit because that's humanity. The tree of knowledge says you become just like me. In Kabbalah, the gateway to that tree is called Daf, which means knowledge. So that fruit or that sifra that you eat of knowledge puts you in the dark side pathway, and you see what has pushed forth this matrix. The shit that got you truly in prison ain't white people. They're a distraction. There's energies that create this thing as a prison. Gnosticism is where you get that stuff. Create this place as a prison. And your consciousness, prism, or light prism is the same thing. You're trapped in a light body. It's moving so slow, you just think it's humanity. What's in you through knowledge gets out of you. You need a greater light, but you're vibrating on this light. We need to do it with the people that's vibrating on this light. The babies that's vibrating on this light. Black people never did this, white people do that. Trump, you gotta get them out of there. And if you're on Obama level, imagine that torture. But even if you want it all to end so much, that's also into it. It ends when you say it ends. It hasn't ended because you're down here wanting to argue. It's your ego that keeps you down here. I want to see white people die. Get this GMO ham, nigga. I don't give a fuck about none of this. You gotta have a mentality of leaving it behind. You gotta have a mentality of leaving it behind. They or anything who is stuck here needs for you to be invested. So how do they invest you? With fear. They give you all this predictive programming, determining, let me say this right now, y'all niggas ain't never got this shit right. To me, it's been killing me. Sophia Stewart didn't write Neo goes into the room, then Trinity comes out. And then got me sued them and said they took my story. She wrote science fiction books where all y'all call her the mother of the Matrix, and probably not me. One of y'all niggas have ever read anything she's written. She's an author with plenty of books. My boy Tef, the decoder that I told you about, read that shit and read them shits and said, this story is similar to the Matrix. He brought it to a guy named Javon Bruckner, who had a newspaper called Serious Times. And then the articles put out, which Tef wrote, Mother of the Matrix. Know what she was doing? Eating peanut brittle, doing whatever the fuck she been doing. And so they told her, guess what? That's why I think when she did get some sort of suit, she wanted to start a record company. And black people going, wait a minute, how did this happen? I was like, well, she wasn't in the loop. She was brought in, which is fine, whatever. So whenever she won, with black people were celebrating victories when she just won the right to sue. But she was going to court saying, can you even sue the people from the Matrix? Do you have enough to say, we can even take it to a lawsuit? So each milestone, oh, we won. She's the Matrix, nigga. No, her story was the same thing. It's valid. Robots taking over. That concept. But I guess there was much in it that may have been infringement. Good enough. Why it came out, I don't know. Nevertheless, this movie is a part of an agenda. Terminator is a part. Why do you think there's 75 of those? It's a part of an agenda. The AI concept. They were trying to go with the one with Will Smith, because Bicentennial Man and iRobot are the same thing. Then they give it to you in your house. Oh shit! Brain is artificial intelligence. Alexa's artificial intelligence. And how they roll it out, they make it stupid first. Like how first computers are slow, getting online is slow. Because when you see what they already got and they finally unleash cable, see, I was studying it. They was talking about, when y'all was fucking cable modems, they was already talking about the infrastructure for cable and coax. is what we use. That's cable. That's the coax line, and it was already in everybody's home estate, meaning the infrastructure was already there. So all they had to find was a free line on this, which was already there. They already knew they had speeds of cable. Then they gave you DSL. They walked you to it. You were used to plugging your shit into a landline. Imagine seeing one of those right now. Imagine, he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. But we can't jump from this to this because, first of all, you already did it. It's already here. There's no technology they could come out with that you already farted on. But that's called social engineering. They are engineering you to believe shit. Think about this. If he pulled out an iPhone 7, we would tell him to kiss our natural black ass. If I was in the club and I'm doing good, you are going to kill yourself. She got her Hennessy and everything. You dance and we doing it up, right? We getting it in, and then I pull out the flip phone. Hey, hold on, let me text you. You'll be like, oh, that's it. Whatever he had going on, he fucked it up. Just because I pulled out an old phone. So if I pulled out the new 7, what does that mean? So that means the white man told you what's new and what's old, and you don't even know it. You would even have sex with a guy based upon that. And his phone worked just like everybody else's phone because that's all it really is. But we've learned, oh, he got the new shit, he must be a new nigga. You got the new shit, but think about that, man. You've been socially engineered. They taught you that what they define as technology makes you the newness. Think about that. They got you. They got you. That's social engineering. Along with predictive programming, they're engineering you. In my book that you guys just bought today, there's a chapter on Donald Trump. And I'll leave the surprise, but for your reading, lazy niggas. In the book, David Rockefeller, I point out, gets the deal to make the World Trade Center in 1969-89 against thriving businesses in the area. They couldn't figure out why he needed that spot, that time, that this, that, the other. But it happened. He gets a cover or story in New York Magazine. On New York Magazine, and I show it in the book, on the back, they had a advertisement for Tarrytown cigarettes, which used to have 2 cigarettes, like Twin Towers. Watch it's a big advertisement on the back that has all this Twin Tower theme. He's sitting on the front like this with his watch showing, and it says 9/11. In 1969, before anything went up. The buildings went up in 74. That's clear, and it's in my book right now. Right now, you can see that right now. It's online everywhere. You can see it right now. Clearly, it says 9/11 on his watch. And then I show you all the movies where they reference 9/11 and shit and trading places. As soon as they go to the World Trade Center and they walk in for the last scene, the next thing is the clock at 9/11. Oh, I go through a whole list of shit that was 9/11, all pages that reference 9/11 beforehand. The Terminator, when he's driving in his truck, chasing the boy in number 2, and they on a motorcycle, they go through a overpass that splits out into 2 squares. Twin Towers clearly says 9/11 above. These are movies that came out way before the 2000s. All 9/11 themed throughout Back to the Future 1 and 2. Oh, that's what my chapter's about. They predict Obama, the 2 Bushes. Remember his father's name was what? George McFly. George Bush and George W. Bush. George McFly was stupid in the beginning and then became very confident. The father was the confident George McFly, and the George W. was the stupid George McFly. McFly, then who was Obama? You don't remember the black dude? I could be mayor. He ran on integrity, honesty, and such, the mayor. I'll show you where Obama ran on the same shit. They fucking with you, son. What? I'm not gonna give you anymore. I'll show you where 2001, A Space Odyssey is about 9/11 still.
Yeah.
Remember in 9/11, the towers fell and Building 7 fell. Well, where Building 7 was, they built this black rectangular hotel, the Hiltons. Like in Space Odyssey, the black rectangle that they symbolized where the monkeys became man and they seen it on the moon. I don't know if y'all know that movie, Stanley Kubrick.
The very beginning of the movie with the monkeys.
Well, the monkeys showed it in the beginning of the movie, but throughout the movie, that object shows up again many times. It's about 2001. So it was about the gateway in the moving of man, the evolution of man, and that's what 9/11 was about. To open up a gateway, evolution of man, blah, 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 and all that stuff. I go through it in the chapter in my book, in Thorough, how they played with you all the time. In the 80s, when Robert Zemeckis did the thrust of those movies. Remember that in number 2, the future's 2015. So I go through everything that now exists that they showed in that movie. Predictive programming. Remember, he was on the hoverboard? Same year, 2015, those shits got popular. Remember those shits? The hoverboard. Oh, I go cruising through what happened in predictive programming. They're setting you up where you think they're doing this shit a couple of weeks. In 1964, before the buildings went up, he had 9/11 on his watch. We 30 years behind their conspiracy. You need to know that. You need to know that. We 30, 40 years behind their conspiracy. Don't try to keep up with them. Do you? But know what they do. Know what they do. So AI is for your ass, because they don't know what you might become. And they need something much more intelligent than them, or that they feel that they control for something that you may become that they don't know what it is and what it'll be for them. Because genetically, they're not ready to deal or play in your sandbox. Now, there's a theory. First of all, certain black people can come down here as white people for whatever reason. Why the fuck? Why? I don't know. We have to ask my man in the back. I ain't gonna front. 3 years ago, when I came here, he sashayed his ass in by himself. I said, do you realize what's about to happen? He said, whatever, man. I was like, well, I guess it takes some strength to be here. He jumped and said, yeah! Nobody else said that. He said, oh, shit. But I never forget that. But it's clear, and I've met now too many white people that stay consistent without shit. I'll be like, motherfucker, you know we can't stand you, me personally, neither. They're like, yo, I'll go through whatever to get this information. I'm like, God damn, that's a hard answer. I just wish these niggas had to say that. So something is about what's in their heart. And he's in the right place. You can't say you the mother of this and the father of that. And when they come and try to do your shit, going, you ain't nobody. Well, if you never, they coming home, mama. Come on in. Come on.
Message.
I want to keep on time. Okay, we still got an hour. So I want to kind of keep going a little bit and still kind of get the rest of that line. And we want to take pictures and communicate. And I know people want to say things. This is when we can do it. All right. And that is great. Thank you, brother, for all being here, for showing up, supporting. Thank you for being conscious. Thank you for being conscious. I have been for the last year struggling with, not money-wise, I'm a baller. Struggling with living deliciously, but struggling with the energy to keep fucking saying it. Is anybody listening? Type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see the tragedies that are just constantly happening, fucking child molestation connected to this shit. Plenty of it. Fucking just madness. Women and fucking cults and making motherfuckers stand there like this. We should be ashamed of ourselves. And I'm ashamed of all this shit and being associated with any of this shit. But then when I see y'all, when I see the woke signings, and I see different eyes than that dumb shit that's out there, I said, I never was talking to none of those people, and they never was associated with me. And the people I've always been talking to have been a special group to even hear this shit and stick in. So I respect y'all thoroughly. I can't stand you motherfuckers. I love the shit about what you want to become. You need to understand that. And even understand more, you don't need me to stand. I actually like y'all more than I've ever done in life. You know what I'm saying? I just started learning how to speak to Uber drivers. Because, like I pointed out, courtesy is a better way of being.
Right.
It's a more, you would think, tree hugging, that ain't what we do. But I get it. It took me a while. Like I said, we're all in it. I'm no better than anyone. So I just got the concept of how courtesy actually works better for a peaceful mindset. You don't even get the energy. Like I'm thinking it's with fucked up ass humans, but it's me thinking everyone's fucked up. Like walking an Uber driver and think you fucked up. You maybe just be interesting. There's so many Uber drivers I got in at the end of the ride. Hey, Brother Panic, I want to say how much what the fuck? I didn't say anything. I just didn't know. I got an idea. That's the worst. I used to film my buddies just talking, yeah, yeah. Brother Panic. So it's fun. I like it. I don't take it to heart. I think it's beautiful. I think when you get excited, I learn to accept it. It doesn't feed my ego. It shouldn't. I'm humbled by you people's steadfast energy. It still sucks sometimes. It's still frustrating, but trust and believe, I learned to understand how important that shit is much more when I seen how easily it can be just thrown away with motherfucking madness. You know what I'm saying? Red bottom fucking madness. Hustlers showing up. Woo, y'all know, you see it where that's the thing like me. Y'all get it, and y'all know. Stay true to the study. YouTube is an entertainment entity. Never let that coach you. Know the government know how you know you right, but the government makes up shit like woke. It gets you to identify with it, then destroys it. If they're doing that, those are attacks, therefore you offer a threat. These dumbass niggas, you woke now. Like, why the fuck would you even say that? Now you got Bill Maher. Here's the woke niggas again. But it didn't stick to us. Now woke is some stupid shit from television. But see, what they did was put you in the mainstream. That's why on Power, they're talking about your story. So we injected it into their psyche on a certain level, but it never was for masses. It only dictates that we have impacted because the masses are reacting in some sort of way. Before we were just invisible to each other. Now the world if they're talking about us to clown us, winning. They can't ignore us out of existence. We was ignored, and we loved it that way. Now, once you go on fucking Hot 97 in the Breakfast Club, all bets are off. Therefore, we're mainstream, and being mainstream means you get to be called the name. How did I know and see this? Make it real quick. Fucking Atkins. The Atkins diet, which y'all now call keto. There was a fat dude that worked at the record label. We talk about the one shirt kind of a day, only had one shirt, got Scott. And Scott was just talking, man, I just had some fucking eggs and a steak and nigga. I'm like, motherfucker, that don't work. So you know me, I have to read the book, and I read Atkins' book, and it was deep. It was science. He told me that ketosis, the body needs carbohydrates all day. It turns into fuel. When you start with carbohydrates, it starts to eat fat. That's why you store fat in the first place. Like a bear hibernates, it gets fat for the winter, and if he goes into ketosis, it eats the fat. That's what it was stored on your body for. So when you stop eating the carbs, you go into ketosis. Now, Atkins was stricter. Keto, you still have more carbs, so it's slower. So you feel like you're on a regular diet. But that shit in 2 weeks, shit, you at the club doing the steak and everything. You know what I mean? You at the club doing the steak. Because after 2 weeks, when you're going hard on this joint, like you'll sugar withdrawal and all of this. And then he talked about what the benefit, he said, weight loss is a side effect. Diabetes, heart, going. He was doing it to deal with diabetes. So he goes through his whole spiel and I understood it. And then the diet was getting popular with Scott. But I read the book and I seen what the media did to that information. All that fucking meat, nigga. Like, nigga, we eat all that meat anyway. And if you ate meat, starch, and a vegetable, you just move the starch. You still eat the meat and the vegetable, less sauces and certain shit, but it's the same portion. Then something weird started happening. I didn't even want to eat nothing anymore. Like the meat was so, I would eat like 2 wings and be like, ugh, I'm done. And then eat 2 wings. You wouldn't eat 3 meals. You just eat like a wing. You would be snacking off shit all day. Meaning I ate less meat on this shit. I didn't eat beef, so it was hard to beef before I would eat chicken at the time. And even then, this is the 90s. But even still, I was eating less. All this misinformation. He said in the book he had a heart problem, something physical. He falls, I see all that meat, nigga. And I seen where I would go in the supermarket, all the aisles were dead. I started seeing them make Atkins bread and Atkins cake, and Atkins, Brian still has a low carb. All this shit started doing, and it got big. And then they destroyed it, and it went away, and it was gone. I said, oh, if that's the real meaning of you can't beat them, join them. You can't beat consciousness, join it. Woke. Yeah, put woke in the family and just make them look like assholes. Make them look annoying, just like another group. It just didn't attach ourselves to us because guess what? I shit and shit and shit on it. It couldn't take it. At this point, I'm one of those guys, if I say something, it's going to stick now. Just off of 20 years of who else? So, first thing, don't say woke. Fuck woke. Fuck woke. So that helped it not stick to us, and we didn't identify with it. While other people like, we woke now, he's woke. He's woke, and then when they shit all over it, now you want to something else. We should just get crypto now. Feel me? But I would say don't do that kind of shit because it's the same thing as Old Testament. It's the same word identification that you don't want them to streamline you to and put you in the box with. And they did. It just didn't stick because there was some dissension. Now I gave a lot of it, and then once I do it, niggas is, you know, my brothers like him, the ones who be adding the energy, don't say woke, nigga, fuck woke. They'll pass that on because we're not supposed to. And you see, and I can just get on right now. Well, told you. We can't fall into any of this shit. We're not in it. You have to separate your minds from it. First as an individual, and when you see like minds doing that work, then reconnect, and then you are communicating and speaking and communing on a higher level, and you'll speak on a different light level where this shit misses you. You got to up your frequency. You say woke, you down your frequency. You're joining the regular public. Get what I'm saying? All the minds that are on it that think a certain way, fuck shit up. That's why for a long time the word consciousness was sacred. Like you would get them unscrewed and say, well, it's not a name for us, it's a description of who we are. Then you would say, wait a minute, nigga, we're we. We didn't want to call ourselves we's or none of that because we knew. That's when they pigeonhole you, target you, and do all sorts of shit. All the motherfuckers with the UCC papers early on, I used to tell these stories in Atlanta. It's one of the niggas on the radio, get your UCC or die, nigga. You heard? They said they made it their business to throw that nigga out and put it on the news. He said people came and saved his ass, but they make these examples. They don't give a fuck about laws. You don't walk in the door, I got my documents. Nigga, how many slavery movies have you seen? And you go, I got my papers right here. Don't you always feel when they're doing that shit that it ain't gonna go well? No, so I got my papers. That's not sit down. Everything in all the stuff. Not that ammunition. But even when you watch that shit, you be like, they gonna fuck that nigga. I don't care if this shit is where you open that eye. You be picking up his paper. Minimal respect. That's not what's going to save you. They get you to go for that gusto. Listen, when I asked Dr. Lima about that shit. Okay, nigga, what the fuck is good with these papers? Like, tell me where that works. Like, you get a house. Did they put extra cheese on your chicken? So, like, he said the most realistic shit. He said, fuck it, just get what you can get out of it. So y'all can get something out of it. Don't change. Listen, keep your birth certificate. Don't know what y'all be doing 5 years from now. Well, you know they got some good ass jobs down there. North Carolina. At the chicken club. There's a Social Security. I gave that shit in for $30. Listen, if you can make that work, go crazy. I don't do that. I don't expect the people who really fuck with me to see how that can help. And at the end of the day, if it does help you the best, it's only helping you do regular shit. This is an unregular shit kind of shit. This is an unregular shit kind of shit we are trying to do. And you have to look at yourself there. Your mind is the only thing that can stop you and your only limit. Here is the key that you must never forget is your most important thing. One of the first things they try to destroy in you, your imagination. The first thing they tell you is sit up straight, look straight ahead. A lady doesn't do that. Cross your legs, pay attention, focus. All of these things because your mind wants to go, it wants to play, it wants to lead. That's why when Africans taught, they told the story form. Because if I tell you a story, it forces you to think of the image. You know what I'm saying? And if you think of the image, that starts your visualization and imagination, even though I'm guiding you as if it's a meditation. Okay, I went to the store. Y'all automatically see a store in your head. I don't know what store it is, but y'all see, y'all don't even know what it is yet. Then I say, to get some goddamn roller skates, then y'all think of something else. You know what I'm saying? And she's gonna laugh. But it's not necessary, you know what I'm saying? But that's why they told in the story form. Now, when you get to the books, you're out of visualization. You're out of visualization. That is a fucked up ring. like how can you fuck all right, so
Visualization.
visualization, very. Of course, Einstein, he's not the premier ship executive, because your imagination is more important than anything in existence. Your imagination is actually what builds your heaven, your universe, your world, and it actually does that here. If you can't see it, you can't achieve it. If you can't believe it, you can't achieve it. Jesse Jackson said that shit, even he knows. Run, Jesse, run. Even he knows. Got to visualize, to neutralize, to materialize.
Actually put it in water.
Through the third eye.
Put it in water, the football moves, visualize and then attack.
Oh, and waterboard.
Waterboard.
Oh, yeah. Because it's a normal thing. We just don't really recognize anymore how that is the thing. It's the thing. It's the first thing. How many of y'all, I don't know if they did in North Carolina, every single body got daydreams too much on their report card when they used to write in that box. Right, I'm the daydream. She looking out the window, tax collection. You know what I'm saying? But what they're doing is trying to get your mother to get you out of being a child. All my granddaughter do is play. From the time she get up until the time we have to strain to get her ass in the bed. All you hear, huh? 3.5. And she ain't stopped from day one and remember shit. Every spiritual altar in the shit, she like, okay, this motherfucker, let me get a stone here. The only reason I fuck with these, she used to go to the altar, just pop these shits on the pow. Just walk with a dirty diaper. Walk around your room with a dirty diaper, like, boom. Come downstairs with my shit. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. She's blessing these shits. I'm watching these shits. Play game from sun up. My son is mellow, so I'll be on the phone with him at night, just kicking it. Go to bed, baby. Go to bed, baby. You're back in bed, baby. You're back in bed, baby. You're back in bed, baby. Baby. Back in bed. Eat. That's a shit. Hungry. Now she learned hungry. Yeah, you ain't eating, baby. You just ain't go to bed. 10 o'clock. Don't want to sleep for nothing. Want to play. And you know, I'm paying. I come through the door. From day one. I am her absolute younger brother. I'm her younger brother. Put on this hat, nigga. Like, all my spiritual shit is wrecked. You know, I had all these R2D2s and shit, these packages from exotic to shit. You playing with it for 2 minutes. Like you can't look at it in the package. Special gift from special places for Khadijah and cracking it. Like that why you need that lollipop is fucking 13 years old. Back in Vegas. Playing for some, that's what we are. That's all kids are about. They just came from that world. She came from heaven. She's trying to continue it here. But we're going to steadily beat her ass down with the ABC. And that's what it's like. It was supposed to. That's what they came here to do. Get beat up to this world only to walk back to their world. That's what you guys are doing. You're walking back to who you were naturally as a child. Imagination, a visualization, and playfulness. That's what Pan is. That's what Pan energy is. Playfulness, because you can't take yourself seriously. Hear how this woman laughs? I hang out with her ass all day. Just to hear that shit at the club. That's what we about. Enjoy the shit like people couldn't understand. Like, people couldn't understand. Like, when I was coming with this shit early on. Quote, Sonetta, That nigga Panic will never be on none of my tapes. Quote from Sinetta in New York. Yo, y'all see Panic? I need him on the tape. Sinetta is cool. I knew him way before any of that shit online. And we'll stay, we'll keep it there. But because no one got it, they didn't get it. You're supposed to be serious as a black man. Know what he said? I think when he should have to take, they playing too much. That was his first thing. I can't put that out. So I never, they're playing too much. I said, okay, watch how this goes. I said, I'm gonna show you that these black people want to be happy about this. If you're winning and you're a winner, what the fuck are you mad about? If you mad, you ain't winning, nigga, and that's what's real. My spiritual people laugh like that because they won. And they feel the realization of it. We know we still going through the stink, but it's your perspective on it that'll make that stink look like manure. I didn't step in shit, you stepped in manure. So, keep on with the time. All right. To live spiritually, guys, not only is it all of the above, as I pointed out, but you're going to have to rely on yourself. We are in a time where you only have to say the words to yourself. You only have to convince yourself. You convince yourself through repetition or symbols. We're not using trauma. Unless you want to take that shit and beat yourself like a priest. You don't want to do that. Mantras in the form of I am. Not I will be or will be. I am rich. I am whatever. I am healthy. I am love. I am power. I am sexy. I am fun. I am enjoyable. I enjoy. I am love. I love. I am that I am. Now moment. You tell yourself all day, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love, I'm love. When you're doing nothing, when you stay on this fucking line, I'm love. Don't think about the question you're going to ask me because it's going to be stupid. Don't waste your time with that. I am love, I am love, I am love, I am love. I am smart, I am smart, I am smart. I am whatever you need to be. Now. It's happening now. You visualize to no end. You make it a fucking adventure in your head every night as you go to sleep. I am Zena of the greatest pussy. I fed nations with this left titty. I go to sleep, I go, please. No! What you want to do is empower yourself through your own mouth, through your own vision. At the very least, you're programming your subconscious mind. If Beetlejuice even wasn't here, you'd be in a good place by doing that. And I know we want to think it's a collegiate level, but it's not. It's a child level. Ain't no child either. You get in heaven as a child. What I talked about previously is what that means. My daughter is heaven built. A granddaughter is heaven built because she just came from heaven. Like all kids with a smile. Some of the niggas came from hell too. What's the nigga? Dequan, I come here, Dequan. Yo, let me tell you, this is a girl. Don't do this shit, young kid. Don't name your fucking kids anything conscious. It was fucked up. When this girl named her son Osiris. Osiris! Get out the toilet! I said, yo, there's so much wrong with that. Osiris, stop playing in the toilet. No, it was Asar. It was even worse. Asar, come here. Asar. Get your dirty ass in the bed. Look at the song. So like when I see it, I'm like, fuck that. But they stupid anyway. Because bros can just be and fucking do drill music. Your kids are not special, they're people, just like you. And your kids feel just like you would feel. How would you feel if your mother was still telling you to go to church? Well, she probably is. Well, how do you feel when she does it this tomorrow? Baby, you know the rabbit been asking how you need to go. Come on, baby, you know you need to go in there. But he got it, baby. I use that. Oh, that's just a female. He just slipped that. So y'all need to stop all that devilishment. Get into this shit. It's waiting for you. Not because I say so, because nigga, shit, nigga, everything says so. AI is trying to prepare for what you're going to become. But they'll be just showing demonstrations on YouTube until you fucking become it. And when you become it, there's nothing they can do. This is their last bullet, one of their last hopes. Donald Trump has resorted to waking up the poor white trash because they are trying to fight with everything. And the powers that be don't want that to happen. There's also a certain set that wants hope that relies on the kindness of your heart. That was what you see in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean when they freed that black woman. So I release you because there's a certain set that says we know we oppressed. Now it's not working. Kennedy and the motherfuckers was on that team. Killed it. Bruce Lee was on that team. He's an Illuminati family. The Lee family, that's why it became Jet Li next. He's Bruce Lee's replacement. That's the triad or whatever they are. Yeah, triad. That's an Illuminati family. There's 13 families. Dr. Lean did one on actually what the Illuminati is, not this rat controlled Jay-Z. They only call Jay-Z that because his name Rockefeller was his Illuminati family. You get it? All right, so those families only have your shit. They're Illuminati because they're mimicking you. You're the true illuminated walking around this motherfucker. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. Like, no, that shouldn't put your hands up. Yeah, do that. Well, slide to the left. Slide to the right. That's what y'all do. That's why they don't feel threatened. But the only threat is actually us. But they know in a mass setting it's hard. I'm 20 years, I'm finding this hard. I've got a lot of victories where I get it more than a lot would. But truthfully, a lot of people don't get there because they need one-on-one. Everyone's an individual. So I can only craft a message for masses. You know what I'm saying? So you see how the brother said, I see green. And this brother said, I have a computer issue. That's real true questions, but when you got a speaker like myself that talks to masses, unless we're in that one-on-one situation and you catch me right, I can't really kick it like that. It's just too much. I talk 5 hours and try to generalize the message. But in this general message, you got to hear your individual story and carve it out. Don't try to get with the company. Don't try to get with what everybody else is doing to say you're on some page because they got better crystals than you. No. You're here and you heard it, and you're at where you at. And know you need to know this is an internal aha moment. You know when you get a moment, you that's all you should be going for in this. If that's not happening, then I have not just a way to be, a way to talk, and the things to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, if I was so good, I would tell you, no, don't call everything spirit. I want shit to happen to you where you can't deny that it's spiritual. Though, because technically everything is spiritual. You got the chair in the first row and somebody gave that shit up. That's spiritual. Your ass had the front row. But that's not enough for me to stop and say, I'm spiritual because I sat in the front row. That's a part of it. But I'm spiritual because that's what leads and guides my intelligent system. Most of us are spiritual, but then we regulate it back with our human system. We start, well, that meant that in 5 plus 4 minus 7 equals 2. But we don't know how to say everything you do moves in a spiritual way. That's pre-programming. When you program your subconscious mind right, you do everything you wanted to do and don't notice. That's the key. So one of the early keys I used to teach, stop asking Lakshmi for money and become Lakshmi. You don't have to ask for money because all it is energy. So if you become Lakshmi, you become prosperity, and you don't see it as something outside of you that you have to partition. You see the thought process? That's spirituality. That's spiritual thinking. How to internalize. You've been taught Jesus is something you ask for. You haven't been taught that you are Jesus and you turn water into wine. That's what you need to get with. This is you. You don't ask for this. You are Lakshmi. You are anywhere you can go in the actual world or universe. Fuck this pyramid. Let's go to Pallades. Look, I think I'm getting something. It's Dr. Africa. No, motherfucker, let's talk to Hitler. Nigga, what you was on, nigga? He said, yo, nigga, that was a distraction. He said, when we started talking at the dialogue, first of all, textbook, what are they? The Aryans? Those are black people. If you read Blavatsky's book, she went to Tibet, they showed her these secret documents, this flunky got into these secret documents and they talked about the 7 original races. And they talked about one race called the Aryan race. This Aryan race is going to bring back Maya consciousness to the earth. Guess who that is? Ding, 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 us. We're the true Aryan race. But Hitler, he took that hit for us, son. Because if there was no Hitler, and we would have been thinking about what we would have been talking about. We gods, we superior, we better. Our shit is the whole Aryan story. And if we were the only ones saying it, we'd have been ostracized like skinheads. They took that. Now you don't look at it. We saying all of that, but they still think we do. They still think we do that. No, just like my sister from the back. Correct for the front. Just like my sister. You. I was like, shit, I thought she was here. I didn't know we made up. I'm like, so, so when we did, me and Bobby did the shit. Dr. Hitler, he said, no, we pretty much took the hit. They took the hit. And I don't know if I didn't get into that, if he knew he was doing it, but that's what happened. Because it would have been us that took that attention. We went right under the radar for a lot of years as conscious people. Let me say it again. The Aryan things with the superior race, with the number ones, we all this, that's what white people claim. All made up. Why did they do that? Well, Vasquez from Germany, the only thing they had that they stick to is Norse mythology, which is still our mythology. I can tell you everything. Like he has a hawk, a patch on his eye and a hawk. There's a Horus, the left, you know what I mean? The great, you see him in the movie, took the great sleep, Osiris. I mean, Odin, the great father, the all-father is Osiris, mixed with Horus. This one is that one and the other. I mean, I went through the mythology thoroughly. It's the same mythology. There's no question. There's only one concept of mythology, archetypes being told over different stories, different places. If I live in the forest and around sand, I can't have the same deities. So devils become the jinn and demons become this over here. So it's all the same story. So their story, or one of their stories, which was told in poems, was Norse mythology. Thor, Loki, all that shit you see that's in Marvel. And in that mythology, that's why they were so mad when Heimdall became Idris Elba, because he's supposed to be white. Thor's supposed to be redhead. Thor's a redhead, you know what I'm saying, in the mythology. They hold on to this. Vaughn is a name of, like Von Dutch, is a name of Osiris. Odin. So if you had Vaughn, that was a title in German. So Norse mythology, Norway, Dutch, Germany moved, and all of those Swiss white people think they're the pure whites, direct from the caves. And they're dying out. They can't even procreate anymore. So Norse mythology is sacred to them, or they try to make it sacred. So when this Blavatsky German lady got this information, they automatically attached it to Germany, i.e. Hitler, and they ran with it Aryans. That's what made the connection. This woman's work with their bullshit. Of course, we know the ruins is nothing but our shit, swastika's ours, blah, 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 blah. So that story, if you wipe it away and wipe away white people, that's actually the conscious story. We're chosen people, we're special within our people. You would say that, you're gods and goddesses, all that's in you, the soul, the blah, the bling. Shit, if there was no Aryans, we would be it. And we would get that attention. So you said we got that hit for us. You need to understand who and what you are. You guys are special, are sacred, but it doesn't mean to blow up your ego. It means for you to internalize and understand your value and your purpose here. And understand your methodology for realizing it. It's not complicated. It's through visualization, imagination. You start there, meditation. The apple, simple things. This should lead you to bigger places. After meditation, your next thing is astral travel. Robert Bruce is an instruction book like Cyclomancy. Stay tuned. When I get home, the class is going to go up soon for Cyclomancy. And I'm going to fuck you up in that class. I feel real spicy. Get on that Cyclomancy shit. How to use psychic power. When I learned that book, oh my goodness. I know she said I wasn't getting none, but believe you me, Cyclomancy. When you say that, you challenge a girl with that, you ain't getting none after that. Oh, really? So like Cyclomancy, psychic power control, techniques. I'm gonna niggerize it. I have niggerized it. Please take techniques. My first class is still available. I just wish I didn't have to pay mortgage so I could give that shit to y'all. Please believe I wish you could have that shit. I've done that shit for like 10 years. No class is the same. I fucking was selling all the whole series until here some nigga put it on the website. I'm like, you can't even trust niggas for niggas. So I said, well, you know, it is what it is. You could get connected to the class if you really, really want it. But Cyclomancy is where you want to be. Because technique is the key. You have to get back in the groove. You have to know you can radiate and send out frequency of your attention. Radio, X-ray, and infrared. Infrared, you can deal with anyone in the room. X-ray can go beyond the room. There's a device that I fuck with. Healy. Anybody know about it? Raise your hand. I've noticed the differences. Back problems, that's what I really got. This is a frequency device, works with your phone, from Germany, used to be big as this table, and they map frequencies of health, oil meridians, liver health, name it, it's in there. Mental health, soul, spirit, body, a long laundry list of frequencies that you plug in and it creates in your aura that particular well-being. Healing is what it's called. Healy. A healing. Expensive shit. It's the same device, but you can get more shit. Now I got shit after shit after shit after shit. Because I'm full of shit. So, does it work? As I said, it doesn't hurt. I noticed with my back, and that's when I really got into it, move out. I can get clients. I can scan you in, and because it works two ways. it works in your aura right here, and it works on a quantum level as well. So you could be across the universe. If you're scanned in, I can send you good vagina feelings. You know, muscle relief, cramps, kidney, heart, all of that is a long list and even more, a whole list of all the crystals. So if I wanted to wear whatever crystal, boom, I can wear whatever crystal.
Message.
That's programmed from the company each time. Once you're scanned in, it reads you in real time what's going on with this now. And it evaluates, and you can do all programs and it'll evaluate, this is what you need. Good shit, healing. Expensive, worth it. Yes, I didn't talk about it until I had it for over a year.
That's like $5,000, right?
This gets up to 5 Gs. But you can get out, you can get in at a G or maybe less. But for the basics, but the more you add, the more that, I think it's getting better with prices because, you know, well, they're gonna hit you with it, but I got a good deal with the place. Now, you get in better with a sponsor.
Promo code? You got a promo code?
A promo code type thing. Remember Visa, the one who was snoring? She's the one that put me up on it. I'm not gonna do it, so if y'all email Khadijah, info@Somni, the same thing on the flyer. She'll probably, I'm gonna have it just forward you the Visa for that code or that way to get in. And boom, 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 bam, bam, bam. Because they do it like an Amway thing too. You can sell it for others. Does it work? Yes. I would say yes more than no. You're not gonna feel overwhelming, but there's always peace of mind. There's always something better. So all these flower programs, courage, like 100 courage different. So we'll evaluate what you're missing, the courage to speak, the courage to be well, the courage to be there. It's a shitload of shit. They got watch programs and programs for magnetism programs. Shit's off the hook. Just go study and go on YouTube first. Good. This frequency is actually what your pineal does. And if you can visualize, and that's what what the phone is doing is say, okay, my heart is hurting. Program heart. Okay, heart is hurting. Okay, my kidneys. Okay, my leg. You're supposed to be able to do that. Your pineal is the reprogrammable crystal. And we're not doing that because we're focusing our energy in places that don't exist, your ego. How to make it as Black people.
Hey, Panic, the Xenon bulbs you talked about work really good too.
Say again?
The Xenon bulbs?
The Xenon balls. Y'all remember that with Uncle Hank? Okay, all right, where we at? Okay, we at 9:47. I got to do the rest of the line, and we'll probably take pictures outside, stuff like that. So let's start doing this after we wrap it. All those can wait outside. Whoever doesn't care and want to say bye, I love you guys. You want to hang for a picture and it looks reasonable out there, then we can do it. We'll try to stay in here as much as we could. But as soon as y'all see Khadijah, ass out. Let's do it and keep the timeline going. So I'm going to end with this. Number one, you guys enjoy what you hear.
Yeah.
Really quick, any questions on what we discussed today? You got a question? Okay. I'm going to try to get them back. Listen to me closely. Listen to me closely. Do not give me background. You're not that deep. I don't know about your cousin at the store. Just ask a question. If I need background, I'll ask you. I'm gonna answer it fast. It's gonna fast you ever hear me answer shit.
When you start doing this walk in your spirituality and staying in that lane, is there any type of forces that would try to bring you, take you out of that? Where
Yes, right there. Only humanity does that. And the forces that you recognize that do it is your excuse. You are coming out of it and you're not ready for it. So the force that you're choosing is your excuse to come out of it. You have to understand what in your humanity doesn't want you to move forward in this area. What inhibits you, what you're fearful of. Know thyself. So it's only your own self that can do it. There is no force. The only force that is here, the demiurge, anything in Gnosticism is still talking about your own human urges when you narrow it down. So you got to say, where am I having a problem at? And really be honest with yourself. Why can't I close my eyes and meditate? What am I scared of in the car? That's what you got to ask yourself. Not the forces, my kids keep doing this, that's the excuse. And it's really happening, but you're magnetizing that for the excuse to open your eyes because you don't want to close them. That's the thing. Your question real quick.
Recently, Tina Turner just died.
Fuck that bitch. She is a liar. She lied on Ike. She lied on Ike. They were fighting, and she admitted it later. They were fighting each other. She made that whole campaign that he was beating her ass for the book and her new leg on her career. The lady said, like Ike used to say, I don't get this shit, man. Before each other, that bitch was crazy. Like Ike, you just a beater. But y'all seen it happen to Chris Brown. He had defensive marks on him. Not to say he's good or cool, I don't give a fuck about it. But they kept saying he had bite marks. Rihanna had bite marks on her. They said, when somebody's biting your ass, that's not like, what'd you say, bitch? I'll bite the shit out of you. This is called like this. Get off. So they were saying that, but real quick, fact. Also, Tina Turner. Yeah, I think that she's Tina Turner. Big wheels keep on turning. But me personally, I like Ike because of who he was. They actually had a campaign to destroy him. He's one of the kings of rock and roll. Study who Ike was. Ike, Little Richard, and what's the name? Destroyed all of them. Little Richard, they wouldn't let go far. He was gay, and then go in the 80s. They never let me do it. I didn't do it. But pause for a second. Elton John is Little Richard. Little Archie is Little Richard. Oh, there's a difference now. And Chuck Berry, who was fucking little kids, little girls, young girls, they put his ass in jail. When he started complaining, the Beach Boys are stealing my music. He said it all in the movie Cadillac, whatever, records.
Yeah.
And they just made him a beat. Next question.
Real quick, is some of your old classes on Patreon?
Yeah, but I'm gonna put them on Dropbox because Patreon is so loud. So just where you pay for them on Dropbox, you just get links. Easier. Patreon charging things every month. Yes, sir.
Sorry, just real quick, I created my own monitor. I wanted to know if half was good. Or
Say it loud.
half, is it good for a monitor?
Say it again.
To say that I have.
Say the mantra.
Oh, okay. I have released all blockages. from-
Yeah, you did. It's common text. No. Tell me Question, real quick. What's up? There's no real sound.
I think you said
You play whatever instrument is on the thing, right? But truthfully, I do it without nothing.
Yeah, the metronome.
Metronome. Oh, that's the only thing. You don't need to have a metronome. She's on a metronome meditation. In a metronome, if you need to ground yourself, 60 beats per minute. That's time. If you want to speed it up, 70 beats per minute. You know what I'm saying? Or try to see frequencies and turn the click and meditate and tick, tick, tick of a certain rhythm beats per minute. So that's a whole different thing. Just get a metronome and 60 to ground yourself. So if you're studying, you're reading a book, put it on 60 in the background, and let it go tick, 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 tick. 60 beats per minute, that's time. That's what you hear. 70 advances you, put your ass to sleep and so on and so forth. That's a metronome. That's another meditation you can do after the apple. Yes.
what do you do to communicate with her?
That's a whole different lecture, but I would have to go, you would have to look at my lectures online and keep studying that area of my study. Yes, sir.
before last time? You said
Because I had contact.
you said something about eating energy.
I don't remember the context.
Okay, you said something about when you pray. But then when you said when it come down to that, we should be eating energy.
When you pray, you're begging, but we should be invoking, not eating. Invoking or evoking. Evoking, not eating. Evoking energy, meaning making it manifest instead of asking for. That's what I told about. Don't ask logically, become lack. So you keep evoking it or invoking. You're invoking the energy, therefore you're invoking prosperity instead of asking for it. Or you're evoking it around you, like this happened today. You evoke a situation, and then prosperity is going to come based on what you sell, what you do. So that's what it's like, as opposed to asking for a question.
Yeah, so, all right, so, I heard, I don't know if it was like a good body.
No, just tell me the question.
All right, so, the mind is all in the universe, how is it that, turn against us?
Because energy turns against you, just like, if you sat on a penis, that's energy. A woman who sits on a penis that is paying her bills and real courteous is good. But once that nigga start beating her ass, it's sitting on that dick, there's no longer energy that works for her. Same kind of thing. So it's our energy that was serving us, and now if we start praying to our energy, we serve it. Jesus is that entity. He really exists because we made it real, but he's a vampire entity because we made it ill. Read Michael Cunningham's book, Creating Natural Deities. All deities are real. Otherwise, what happened? They was already in the sky waiting for you to get with it. They don't exist. It's all energy. There's no question there. There's no question about what else could it be. A person named Schumann. Heaven did his last, there were a bunch of water. So the energy, because the reasons were never meant for mass consumption. They were always meant for that group of Nigerians who were doing it. We went to the West, into slavery, and so on and so forth. We brought it with us and stayed, and we came back here, and then here, it's like brain switch. So that's why. Any questions back here? That's it.
So if you listen to Love About Everything, like your music, I'm getting different verses. This is really like changing.
You tell me, you say I'm the monkey's ass. And I've done it for years. There's always, you know what old people used to say? I should have even hit his stabs and shit. It's all.
You got away from him.
But if you believe it's good, it is good. That's real. No, I'm not saying something.
Yes.
I say something. But they had the whole study. Remember when they did, when the dude came up with frequencies and the water and the crystal turned rock and roll, made it all fucked up. If I love rock and roll and it makes me get out of bed, I'm not gonna have that. My crystals ain't gonna be fucked up. I see love when I hear. I hear love when I hear. So drill music, it really doesn't inspire love. It inspires like energy, aggression, it inspires like and that shit just kill somebody and get my head on it. You know what I'm saying? So the nature of it says a lot. But the kid who listens to it and makes it, he loves it just as much as I love Eric B. and Rakim. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, that's what I was saying earlier. It's all of us. Once it becomes a song on the radio, business is all of us. Okay, I seen your DJ did the watch there. That's it. Sorry guys, a little bit of line, please. Let's get that. Those who don't have to be here, I'm gonna try to get it.
So that was pretty much the end of that. And as y'all know, that was like over an hour by itself. I'm going to really wrap it up for the most part, and I appreciate everybody who stayed tuned to listen to that. That was, like I said, a little over an hour of what he was just him talking. That was the last part of it. he went on for hours. I can't say he spoke for the full 8 hours. That's not the case, because there were intermissions where we got online, and it was a long line to get on, pretty much. I tried the first line the first time before they started, and I couldn't get my book. I tried to get a book and some other items, so I wasn't able to do that. That line was wrapped around like the club. That's how many people. If you saw that, you could see how packed it was. It was packed all the way in the back. There was people on the sides, people standing up, people in the entranceway, people outside of the room listening in. That was a lot of people there. Then I got a chance to talk to one brother. He said that was his third lecture he attended. Actually, his third lecture. He's been there, and he lived in Charlotte. He was at the one before in Charlotte, and he went to the one in South Carolina. So he's been following him for a minute. But a lot of the people there was some new people. Of course, I was new. My wife was new, and there was some people who, they just follow him wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was a lot of people there. So, as you can see, he was dropping that knowledge. He was going in. He was doing what Panic does. You know what I'm saying? Putting his energy into it. His humor, his personality, and I enjoyed it. I know my wife enjoyed it. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, just to let y'all know that what y'all see, if y'all come across that anywhere else. We were there. We were caught in the back, because by the time we got there, and again, we went up in the elevator with Panic. We came up there with Panic, up there in the elevator. He had left and came back and got some pizza, him and his son. And by the time we came there was like 15 minutes after the hour, 15 minutes after 2, the place was packed. You know what I'm saying? But fortunately, I was able to get a seat for me and my wife. And after then, they had to get more chairs. They had to go out and get the hotel assistants to go bring in more chairs. That's how packed it was. But I say all that to say, it was an awesome lecture. All those hours I was able to stay up, take notes, never once dozed off, kept engaged, and I enjoyed it. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I won't hold y'all long. Next week, I will be in Syracuse for my book signing. Shout out to the More Science Temple up there in Temple, I believe 21-1 in Syracuse. My brother, Grand Sheik Joseph Youngbay, and his lovely wife, Yolanda Youngbay, Grand Sheikus Yolanda Youngbay, they've invited me up there. So I'll be up there for the book signing. And then when I come back, we'll continue on and hope to have some more content for you. But until next time, I appreciate you all. Love you all. Peace and love.